Um, a test out of like 50 marks or like 70 marks.
Okay, we can actually do that. There's not much issue in that aspect. Okay,
Okay, sir.
okay. I will be updating you. Okay, no
Okay,
issue.
sir.
So, guys, right now, either we can begin with the respiration.
Sir, I think you
I mean
said
reproduction.
that in last class that you will
Mhm.
take a 10-minute test.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
I will be
MCQ.
I will be sharing question in just a moment. First, let's get this thing clear. Okay, respiration, reproduction in plants, it is missing. It has to be, I mean, discussed, right? Electric current and its effect.
And
Sir,
transport in animals and plants.
Transportation in plants and animals, that is also left. Sundus, you were saying something?
I just want to ask, like, we did forest urban last time or not? Like, I don't know.
Forest, our lifeline. No, we haven't discussed that chapter as well. Okay, now. That
Okay,
chapter
sir.
also hasn't been discussed. So let's get to know like what are the chapters remaining to be discussed. Okay, now.
Sir,
So
and wastewater story.
wastewater story, that is also left. Okay.
That is
So
done,
light,
sir.
no, it is not done.
Okay, sir.
Guys, we haven't talked about wastewater, no? Wastewater story. We did talked about water,
Yes,
a
sir.
precious resource,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Yes, sir.
But
We
we
have
didn't talk
talked
about
about that,
wastewater
but we
story.
are not. Yeah.
Mm. Forest, our life, and that is the chapter name, right?
Yes, sir.
And then wastewater. Wastewater, I think wastewater is story, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So in
sir.
total, 5 chapters are remaining, right? Okay. So let me give you guys a quick overview of the chapters we have completed so far. Nutrition in plants, done. Nutrition in animals, discussed. Fiber to fabric, done. Heat, discussed. I mean, done. Then acid, bases, and salts, that was also discussed, right now. Physical and chemical
Yes,
changes.
sir.
We did
Yes, we have
discuss that chapter as well.
discussed that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Weather, climate, and adaptation. We have done that also. Wind, storms, and cyclone was also done. Soil was
Sir, it
done.
was?
Wind, storms, and cyclone was done. I
Okay,
think
sir.
when it was done, you were not present there. Also, Chakrika,
Yes,
no.
sir, might be.
Yes.
Yes, sir. You might have completed it before I joined.
Ha.
Because I joined a bit late, so yes. So that's
No
why.
issue. Do one thing, you just send the names of the chapter which you haven't actually studied, or you want to, would like to have other extra classes for those chapters. Okay, since you joined
Sir,
batch
which are
a
there
little
for
bit
the
late.
exams only.
Which are there for the upcoming exams only. Like for this one, or when you will be getting syllabus for the final exam for that as well. Okay, now.
Okay,
Acid,
sir.
bases, and salts, physical and chemical changes, weather, climate, and adaptation, that was done. Wind, storm, cyclone, that was done. Soil was done, and respiration in organisms. So far, these chapters we have discussed. So, you guys tell me which chapter should we begin with? Yeah. Also,
Anything is for me, sir.
mhm. Reproduction in plants, or electric currents and its effects, or transportation in plants of forest, our lifeline of wastewater story. Sundus and Chikrika, do let me know, please. How about we begin with the reproduction in plants? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now. Yeah. Any issue, Chakrika?
No, sir, no, sir.
Okay, this chapter we will be beginning with.
It,
Okay. But for the moment, just give me 1 or 2 minutes
sir,
so
it's
that
okay
I
because
can.
like
Mhm.
it's already done for me in EV1. So is it okay if you still explain it?
You can choose
I
then.
mean, for some it's not right. So
Which chapter then? Yeah, Chakrika, which chapter then? If not the first one, then which chapter?
No, sir. I said it's okay for me,
Oh, I thought
but it's
it's
just
already
already
done
done.
for me.
That's it.
Okay, okay, okay. So I'll be sharing my screen in just a moment. Give me just 1 or 2 minutes, okay? Also, I did told you guys like which chapter test I was about to take. I think it was the soil, no?
Sorry. Yes, sir.
Right. Okay, so you will be able to see my screen. Just give me one moment.
Sir, Vega didn't join.
Viga hasn't been joining for the last 1 or 2 classes. Okay. Hmm. The questions that are going to be there, it will not be of MCQ nature. Okay, now. So these will be rather short answer questions. Okay. One word answers only. Okay. There could be 1 or 2 questions that might take more than one word. It will be having one sentence. All right now. Okay. Also, how was your maths exam, Chakrika?
It was very easy, sir.
Good. Okay.
And sir, I sent you the chapters which I have for the upcoming exam this term.
Okay. That is good. Yeah. Here's a question. Okay. In total, there are 15 questions. Okay. So the questions are of very short answer. Okay. Short question and answers. Okay. So I suppose 10 minutes would be sufficient. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now.
Yes, sir.
So your timer starts now. And when there's a test, you guys are supposed to turn your cameras on, especially when it's a test. Keep your cameras on in the class. Okay. And
Sir,
once you
can
are
you just like, can you just wait a minute and then I will keep my camera on.
no
So you
issue
don't
in that.
mind.
Oh, okay, no issue. And once you have completed the paper, just send the photo to the counselor. Okay. Your timer starts. In my watch, it's 8:47 p.m. So at 8:57 p.m., your test will basically stop. Okay.
So for the second question, I mean, very short answer questions, do we need to write one word answer or like sentences?
Just write one word answers now. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Mhm. Keep your answers short and concise. Okay.
Okay, sir. Sir, and for the second question, do we need to write more than one example?
Hi. As many examples you can remember, you can quote them. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Question number 9 is now omitted here. So I will be writing that down. Okay now. So let me just get that question again. You guys can't you can see like question number 9 is not visible here. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So for the eighth question, is there one particular answer?
Question number 8.
Eight.
Yeah, is the that is just one particular answer for it. Okay.
Oh, okay, sir.
A few more minutes are left. Okay.
I'm sorry, sir. For the 11th question, should we mention only one?
Yeah, it sees the highest water absorption rate, the soil having highest water absorption rate. Okay, so out of sandy, clay, loamy, which one is having the highest water absorption rate?
Yes.
There has to be only one word answer. Okay.
In the types of soils, gravel is also included, right?
In the types of soil, in the types, not in types of soil, but when we were
Yeah,
to talk about the different rock particles, so
particles.
gravel will be there.
Okay, sir.
Guys, it's 11 minutes.
So
Okay, so try to be quick. Huh, Sundus? Yeah.
I just want to ask, like, can we write two, two sands together? I don't. Um, I
Can we
mean,
write
like, suppose
mhm,
two sands, like
two sands
half of
together?
it and half of it. Yeah,
Huh,
half of it and
you can write that as well. But I'm not saying that will be correct or wrong. Okay, it's up to you.
Sir, is it out of 15 marks?
It is out of 15 marks.
Okay, sir.
So I'm done.
Done. Okay. Take the photos and send it to the counselor.
Okay, so can I just bring the mobile?
No issue.
Sir, I'm also done. But I can't send it to the counselor right now.
Okay, you don't have the phone with you right now.
Yes, sir. Like the phone which the counselor's number is there. I don't
No
have
issue.
that
No issue.
phone.
No issue, Chakrika. You can send it after the class then. Okay, or when you have the phone. Okay.
Sir, I have your number. So can I send it to that?
There you can also send it.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay. So it's almost 9 p.m. here. Okay. Yeah, once I will be receiving your photos, okay, I will be just discussing it right now in the class. All right. Okay. Guys, let's do one thing now. It will be better. Just you guys just send the photos right now, and in the next class, I will be updating you. I will be telling you guys the marks of the test. Okay, so that we can continue with the new chapter today also. Right now, Sundas.
Yes, sir.
Mhm. Yeah, do let me know once both of you have sent the photos. Okay,
Sir, I sent mine.
you have sent yours. Okay, good. I will be no Chakrika updating the marks, telling the marks of the test in the next class. Okay, because we have already taken 13 minutes in the test, so and I think we should start with the new chapter today in the class. Okay, now.
Okay,
So
sir.
let's begin with the new chapter. Just give me 1 minute. You'll be able to see my screen in just a while. Okay. So reproduction in plants, that is the chapter we are going to discuss right now. Okay. So we know that all living organisms have a characteristics common in them, that they can produce their own kind, right? They can give birth to their own kind, right? Now a monkey will give birth to a monkey, not to a dog, obviously. So that is the characteristics of the organisms, that they will be giving birth of their own kind. But then the thing is that in order to stay alive for an individual, the following steps are required, the following processes are required. It has to be ingestion, taking in the food. It has to be digestion, absorption, assimilation, excretion. That's it. But what is the role of but the question is that what is the role of the reproduction? Yeah. Is it necessary for the survival of the individual, or is it necessary for the survival of the species of that individual? Yeah, answer this.
Sir, I didn't get this. I didn't get it. Are there two separate questions?
No, they are not two separate questions. They are combined. The thing here is that in order for a human or any organism, any living organism to survive, what are the functions that he or she does? Functions by the human body to stay alive. Yeah,
To eat food.
that is ingestion.
Yes. Then digestion.
Hmm.
Absorption.
Absorption.
After the assimilation.
Assimilation. Good.
And then it's addition.
Digestion. Good. Okay, so these are the essential steps involving the survival or continuation of the life of a normal human body, or let's just say any organisms, right? Functions by organisms to stay alive. Okay, but all these functions here are, we see that they are necessary for the survival of an individual, right now. So where does the role of reproduction is here? Is there the role of reproduction here in the survival of an individual? An individual?
No,
Question here
sir.
is no. So where does the role of reproduction is? It is in the survival of the species of that individual, no?
Yes, sir.
Right? Sure. What does, by the way, species mean? What does the term species mean? We
Another
usually
kind.
hear of this. Another kind or a particular kind. Huh? Species, what does it mean? Like if I were to try to define this word species, like in the biological classification now, like the biotic component in the world, whatever is living, they are having separate groups now. We separate them now. We separate plants from animals, right? And in the plants now, in the plants also we get to see that we have got different types of classification. Like you have got herbs, you have got shrubs, you have got plant, you have got trees, you have got climbers, you have got creepers, right? Okay. And then for example, if I were to take an example of any particular fruit, for example, let's take a particular apple plant. Are all the apples that you purchase in the market, are all of them same?
No, sir.
Although it comes from the apple plant, but not all the apples are same, because there is a variation in the apple tree also. The one that is growing in a particular region will be different from the one that is growing in the another region, and hence they are producing two different kinds of species right now. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, so species, it is like now often defined as the largest group of organisms in which any two individuals of the opposite gender can reproduce, can mate and give birth to an individual, right? For example, if you were to have the species of a monkey, right? If I were to have the species of a monkey, so any two monkey having opposite genders, they can mate and then give birth to an individual, either male or either female. Okay, these are the chromosomes. XY chromosomes are there. That is another thing, we will get to that. We will understand about that as well. So is in an species, we see that it is a very large group of organisms in which any two individuals of the opposite genders can mate and give birth to a new offspring. Is that clear? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Same will be
Yes,
the
sir.
case in the plants also. Like if I have got a apple plant of one particular kind, So the pollination will take place. For the pollination to take place and for the fertilization to take place, both the apple plants have to be of same time. You guys know about pollination, right? The process where what happens?
Where the male reproductive, like, what its name?
Mhm.
The male, so the
Look here.
thing that's present on top of the anther,
That is
not
present
on
on
top of
top of the
anther.
anther. That is called as pollen grains now.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. Where the pollen grains are put onto the on top of the ovary, like the stem, the
Yes.
thin stem. So yes, sir. Like, and then they get fused.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's all I know.
You have touched the basic part here. Okay, now look over here. The normal flower that we usually see now. In a flower also you get to see like there is division in the gender. Okay. Some of the parts of the flower forms the male reproductive part, while another will be forming the female reproductive part. Yeah. So
Yes, sir.
Sundus and Chakrika, both of you, since this topic came up, so I thought let's cover it as well. So pollination, what happens? This yellowish color which you are seeing over here, no, this here, yeah, these
Yes,
are
sir.
what?
Pollen grains.
These are the pollen grains here. Okay, actually they are inside the anther. So the pollen grains are there. Okay, so the yellowish structure that you see there, inside them pollen grains are found, right? And then this stick which you see extending from the anther and then connecting here to the ovary of the flower, that is called the filament. So anther and filament there together form the male reproductive part of the flower. That is clear?
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it style? Oh,
No,
okay.
style is the
Never
different
mind.
thing. No, style is the one that originates from the ovary.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so
Sorry,
in
sir. I
the
got confused.
no issue. In the female reproductive part of the flower, Sundus and Chakrika, we see that it is basically comprising of three parts. The stigma, that is the top swollen part. This here. Look at this flower over here. Huh? A very common flower. So this part here, it is called as stigma. The top part that is called as stigma. Then the long stick that is here, that is called as style. And then this swollen part, it is called as ovary. Right now. So these are the two parts of the flower, and how pollination occurs. See, Sundus, I even actually asked from you. Would you like to define how pollination actually happens here?
I really don't know.
Okay. Look, basically, what will happen now? The pollen grains that are there in the anther, these pollen grains, so they will be now due to the wind, or either due to some animal. What will happen? It will transfer from here to the stigma. It will go from where? It will grow from the anther to the stigma, right? Getting it now. So thereby, the pollen grains which came from this anther and landed on the stigma, now it will go slowly inside this ovule, right? It will go inside this ovary, actually, I mean to say, and then here it will fertilize it. So fertilization takes place, and you see, flower turns into a fruit now after some time. Yeah, not all the flowers, but flower turns into fruits now. Yeah, Chakrika, Sundus.
Yes, sir.
Right now, flowers turns into
But
fruits.
all flowers do that.
Not all, not the ones that does gets fertilized. The ones that where fertilization does not take place, they will not be forming into fruits. And not all the flower forms into fruit. Not all. Right now, there are exceptions there as well. So see, the fruits that you eat once they were actually fruit, mean to say flowers, right? So how? Once the fertilization took place. Getting it now? Hope you guys are able to understand this thing.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Chakrika. Okay, now let's move on to what we are discussing
Yes, sir.
about reproduction in plants. So we saw that what a species is. It is a large group of a population where individuals can mate with each other with the opposite genders and hence give birth to new offsprings. Right? Now, talking about the process of reproduction, it is not essentially required for the survival of an individual, but rather it is required for the sustenance of that species so that that species continues to exist on earth. Reproduction is necessary. Getting it or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the existence of an individual is not affected by the process of reproduction, but existence of the whole species, it is being affected, right? Okay. Now let's to talk about the modes of reproduction in plants. Yeah. So you all have seen, or if you were happen to visit the villages, so or just observe someone who does gardening. So we see that there are different methods of growing new plants, right? For example, how can I grow a rose plant? Can I grow it from other than seed? Can I grow the rose plant? Yeah. Can I grow rose
What
plant?
I didn't
Just
understand your question.
my question is that can I grow a rose plant using just its stem? We all
Yes,
have
sir, you
seen
can grow it, right?
exactly we can grow it. So was there any?
Can I have 2 minutes?
Yeah. Sundus, you continue and you tell me like what are other ways in which we have seen like the new plants can be grown without actually using their seeds.
So what?
What are ways?
Sir,
Mhm. Look, what are some of the ways in which new plants can be grown without using the seed? Without using the seed.
Yes, sir, I'm back. So
Uh,
what were you asking?
I was basically asking what are some of the ways in which new plants are grown without using the seed?
So
Like
ah,
fragmentation,
fragmentation. Fragmentation can, yeah, it is one of the ways, yeah.
then
Yes.
stem cutting.
Stem cutting, that is a grafting. Grafting is done right now. So using the different
Hydro.
parts.
This is not actually a method, but it's kind of like that. Hydroponics, sir.
Hydroponic plants. It's not one of the methods, but then hydroponic plants you get to see like you if you were to see like hydroponic plant like the money plant. Yeah. So you can just cut the
Yes, sir.
stem of the money plant and then plant it and then grow it in the water. So yeah, that is also one of the ways in which new
you can
plants are
also
grown.
budding it, right? You can
Budding,
also budding.
exactly. Budding is also done. Like if I were to have example of the potato, yeah, potato can be cut into several fragments, and each fragments new crops can be grown. Right now, so in the falling plants, you can see. Look at this potato here. So if a potato were left to be in a moist area for like 15 to 10 days, so you can see that it starts to germinate. The potato starts to germinate and germinate the eye bud in it. Look, these are the eye buds here. Look, there are structures like this present in the potato you must have seen. These are the eye buds. So from that eye bud, germination starts to happen. right? And from that, if you were to plant it under the soil, new plants will start to emerge, right? So right now, we haven't actually started the chapter. We have just started to look at the basics of the chapter. What are the things we are really discussing in this chapter? Okay. And then you have seen the plants like this. Have you seen the plants like these, where we get to see now, like the some plants, they are growing along the ground, and they have got some modified stems. Like, look at this. This is the main plant. Okay. And then there are stems arising from it that grows nearby to the ground. And when it touches the ground, it develops a root system. A root system has developed here, and now a new plant grows. Yeah. Have you guys actually seen such type of plants? Hmm? Dandelion?
So it
Yeah.
does rose count, but we have to keep it in water for some days though.
Rose plant.
Yes, sir.
No, I don't think rose are the kind of runners. Runners are not such type of plants now, in which from the main plant, stems will be arising, and those stems will be growing alongside the ground. And when they will touch the ground, root system will grow from it. So here the thing is now, the
So what about okay, so the
look, the
main
other
part
plants
shouldn't be
now,
down.
other plants look here. The thing is now, the other plants here is still connected from the main plant. And if we were to cut this now, the other plant that has grown from this main plant will have no effect. Okay, it will now start to develop as a new plant. हाँ चक्रिका continue.
Yes, sir. Sir, so potato doesn't also count, right?
For what?
As a runner.
As a runner? No, I don't think
Yes, sir.
potato counts as a runner. No,
Okay,
potato
sir.
has basically got buds in them. BUDS, that bud. Okay, and from each bud, germination starts to take place. So if I were to have a potato like this, in let's say three buds are there, so I will cut it into three pieces, and each pieces will be, if I were to sow them in the ground, new plant will start to rise from them. Getting it now,
Yes, sir.
right? So basically, in the chapter reproduction in plants, the thing is that we will be talking about like what are the different modes of reproduction in plants, right? So I will be seeing that basically there will be two modes of reproduction in plants. Okay, one where there will be involvement of the reproductive parts of the plant, right? And then the one in which different parts of the plant will be playing a major role in the growth of new plant. All right now. So that will be basically, that has been basically classified as the reproduction using the reproductive parts, and the reproduction by the vegetative propagation method. What I just said, I am saying that there are two modes of reproduction in plant. The first one is the reproduction using the reproductive parts, and the second one is the reproduction using the different parts of the plants. Like you could be using the stems, you could be using the roots, you could be using the leaves also. That would be called as vegetative propagation. All right now. So what do we get to see in the reproductive part, reproduction by use of the reproductive parts? What do we see? Which parts of the plant are involved in this?
So pistil and stamen.
Or we can just say it's basically flower, right? So also further, I can categorize this as I can have two more classification in the case of plant. Look, you know, whenever there's an involvement of two partners in the process of reproduction, it is called as sexual reproduction. Yeah. as in the case of humans, and as in the case of all other organisms, all other animals, we get to see there is the case of sexual reproduction, yeah, where two partners are involved. While in the case of asexual reproduction, the growth of new offspring will take place without the need of a partner. Okay, you have examples in the microscopic world as well. You have the
Okay, sir.
examples of asexual reproduction in the microscopic world as well. For example, there's a bacteria amoeba. You all know about amoeba.
Yes,
So
sir.
amoeba now basically gives birth to two daughter cells simply by splitting into two halves. Right now. So that is an example of a asexual reproduction, or reproduction without the need of a partner, right? So how do we classify, how do we understand about sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction in context to the plants? So in context to the plants, the when the new plants will be produced without using the seeds, so they will be called as asexual reproduction. When new plants will be grown without the use of the seeds, so that is called as asexual reproduction. Okay.
Yes,
And
sir.
then what will be the sexual reproduction? In the sexual reproduction, the new plants are produced with the help of the seeds of a plant. And in this process, the flowers will be taking part. Yeah, sorry. So in the sexual reproduction, what I said, that new plant is growing from the seeds of a plant. And in the case of sexual reproduction, the flowers of the plants will be taking part in the reproduction. Is that clear to all of you? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So
Yeah. And then we get to see now, if we were to have a look at the different parts of a typical plant. So what parts do we see? See, you have you have here it's shown as plants are having two parts, two systems basically, shoot system and the root system. Okay. So what differences do we see in the two system, by the way? Not in context of reproduction, just a general observation. What difference do they have?
So the root system is under the ground, and the
Mm,
shoot system is grown above the ground.
So we can say they consist of aerial parts of the plant now, the one that is in the air,
Yes, sir.
right? Okay. So that is the typical diagram of the two systems of the plants that is shown here. Okay. Now, if we were to talk about the different types of asexual reproduction, what are the different types of asexual reproduction? Sexual asexual reproduction in the case of plant, that is clear now.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So look here. New plants can be grown using the roots. The one you are having example here is that of a sweet potato. Okay. So I can either grow the new crops using the root. I can either grow the new crop using the stem, like this underground stem that is potato. I can be growing new crop, new plant using the runner. I can be growing new crop just by the use of leaves also. Okay. And I can be growing new crops by doing the process of grafting as well, or simply cutting. Okay, where I will be cutting a plant, then plant the cutted portion of the plant in a pot, and thereby it will develop into a new plant. Or I can just take root system of one plant, I can take shoot system of another plant, but both of them has to be of the same species, right? Now, at least of the same genre, at least they have to be, for example, if I were to take two plants, at least they have to be mango plants, right? Okay. So where I can take the shoot system of one plant, I can take the root system of another plant, and I will be basically joining them together. So that is a grafting. Getting it now? So these are not some of the ways of the asexual reproduction. Apart from that, I get to see that there are some other methods also, right? No? So so I can see like in organisms like yeast, in organisms like Spirogyra, how reproduction takes place there. The bread mold that grows, how do they reproduce? We will be discussing that also. So all